When I first started making music, I thought I was so alone. I thought I was the only person with drug addictions and family problems and all, anxiety and depression. And since I started making music, I would get these messages. Oh my God, I've never heard anybody talk about this in your music, and you helped me save my life. You stopped me from committing suicide. You helped me leave an abusive relationship. You helped me get sober. And I'm just like, whoa, that's crazy. And people often ask me, what's the best thing about what I'm doing? That's the best thing about what I'm doing.
Big Boy's neighborhood. Reverie is back in the neighborhood. Reverie, good to see you, Queen.
Good to see you. It's always good to be here with you guys. I appreciate you.
You just cut your hair off, and that looks amazing.
Yes.
Thank
What
you.
made you do it?
You know what? There was a lot of variables, but I guess the main points would be that, remember the last time I saw you, I bleached my hair for my last album, and it was long and pretty. Somebody ruined my hair, and I was dealing with it for months. And I was like, oh, I'll get over it. I didn't get over it because it was still on my head.
Right.
And then we had the new album coming out, and I was just inspired. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start over.
It looks good on you.
Thank you.
And Ani and Natalia were complimenting you, and I was like, dude, ladies, just do it.
Yeah.
She's got a nice shaped head, though. I can already feel, at least with mine, that you would turn to the side and
Hey,
it would
man,
be like, oh.
if I could rock a bald head with this thing in the back of my head, y'all can definitely do that.
We should do it.
And all you got to do is cut it off and walk outside.
I
You just
know.
gotta
That would be
walk
amazing,
out.
right?
Yeah.
But I would have I already have a big face. She looks amazing.
She
Right,
does.
right.
Thank
Well,
you.
Like a superstar.
we don't know.
Thank you.
I mean, no, if you really look at her, she look crazy.
It's true.
No, I'm just playing. No. Come on, ladies. So we were talking about the new album.
Yes.
The new album is No Chaser.
No Chaser.
Why that title?
When you take a shot and then they're like, you want a lime? You're like, no chaser.
Give
It's
it to me.
Raw. It's cutthroat. It's to the point. There's no sugarcoating or anything to chase it. That was the concept of this album.
And we've had this conversation before, but is it therapeutic for you as well?
Oh, yeah. It's always been a form of therapy since the first song I ever made. The first song I ever made, I actually didn't even want to show anybody. But
It was
my
for you?
homegirls, it was for me. But my homegirls knew I went to the studio and they're like, show us the song. I'm like, no. And
How old are you at that
that
time?
was that. I was 17, I think.
Did you grow up around music?
I always loved music.
Right.
I grew up listening to you
Go
every
ahead now.
morning.
She fell for that one.
For
She fell
sure.
for that.
And I was just always obsessed with music. Yeah. I don't have like a musical family, but it's crazy because a lot of my siblings, there's 8 of us, we make music.
Damn, there's
Yeah.
8 of you?
And actually there's 3 of my siblings on the record.
Really?
Yeah.
So who's the siblings that's on the new album?
Uh-huh.
Who's the siblings?
So Louden produced the whole
All right.
thing.
Yeah, Louden.
And then
Shout
the
out
love
to
is
you, bro.
the Love Is My Religion song, that's my sister.
Oh.
And then the Nightmares at the Rodeo, that's my little brother. Yeah.
Hey, dude, when you get family on, do you have to pay them, or it's like, oh, come on, fam?
You know what? I tried to pay them,
Yeah.
and my brother got back to me. My sister didn't, so she doesn't want the royalties.
Okay. Hey, man, at least you tried, though. At least you tried. Hey, how do you go from someone that's kind of enjoyed music to wanting to become an artist?
You know what? I just started writing poems and short stories as soon as I learned how to spell. When I was like 6 years old, I was so excited to learn how to spell in school, and I just started writing. It was always something I wanted to do. I guess it was just always in me.
And how was growing up? Like, did you grow up all throughout Los Angeles, or where's home?
I was always in Highland Park, born
Right,
and raised
okay.
in Highland Park. Yeah.
Yeah, see, we moved around a lot. It was what do they call it? Evictions.
Oh.
Yeah, it was called evictions. That's what we used to have. So evictions it gets you in different places.
Yeah,
You know.
absolutely.
So growing up all through Highland Park, in Highland Park, and you enjoy music, you become a writer where it's just kind of for you.
Yeah.
You get into the studio around the age of 17. When do you know, aside from everything else, that this is for you? Because at an early age, we still, crashing the car, kicking the
Yeah.
tires. We out there, effing up. You know what I'm saying? And we can't see a lot of life that's coming ahead of us. Where were you at around that time when you first started just saying, I'm going to go into the studio? And what inspired you to go?
Like in a serious way?
Yeah.
I would say I was about 25 when stuff started really happening for me. I was already making music for a few years before that, since I was 17, but
Right.
around that age, that's when I moved out on my own and was paying all my bills with my music. And that's when I started hiring people, and I was going to Europe touring. I was touring in the United States. I was
Between the 17 and 25, before it starts to like so-called pop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you stay next to it? Like, how do you keep one foot in this dream and the other foot like, damn, I'm in this reality?
I was just so desperate to escape the person that I was. That's how I would put it. I hated who I was up until a couple years ago, and I just didn't want to be the person that I was. And I just feel like it was more of a subconscious thing, but now reflecting back on it, that's what I realized. I'm like, I was just so desperate to not be that version of myself, and I just had this vision of where my music could take me one day.
Right.
And
And not going too far into it. What if you can elaborate on what that means? The person I was.
Well, like when I was a kid, I was like, when I was a kid and a young adult, I was kicking it with the gang, you know, and so I was just living the gang life. I was just doing all kinds of drugs. We were just doing like, you know, petty crime. I was just a really bad person doing bad things to people that didn't deserve it, you know, and some that did deserve it, but you know, who am I to decide who's who? And I just faced a lot of bad karma for that. And I didn't like who I was when I went to sleep, and I just would always do drugs to try to escape who I was. And now I don't feel like doing that anymore.
And when you say music is therapeutic, that's what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, because sometimes in life, we got to have some kind of release. We got to have some kind of release, man, or else, you know, we'll blow up. You know, and especially when you know that there's something else. Yeah. Like, this isn't me. This doesn't define who I am. I'm tripping a little bit right now, but I know that this isn't me.
Yeah. And also, I've always dealt with depression and anxiety my whole life up until very recently, too. I still deal with anxiety, I'm not going to lie. It's not as bad as it was, but I don't feel suicidal anymore. I don't feel like killing myself. No, I used to feel like, you know, just suicidal, but now I don't go there when I have an issue. It's not an option anymore.
And now we look in the rearview mirror, Reverie, and we can call it anxiety, depression, and we have these dialogues that we can have now. Yeah. When you were depressed or when you were going through more anxiety, did you know it?
I don't think I knew it until maybe the last few years, because now everyone talks about depression and anxiety. You know?
We also think like, nah, I can kick this. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you tripping. Like, damn, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? And at one point we thought that depression, or we thought, you know, sometimes it was weakness. And then there was a lot of different titles on certain things too. You know, so I love that. Now we have these dialogues, and getting help is encouraged. Yes. And speaking with someone now, it's not like, you know, I remember growing up, Reverie, when people used to say shrink. And shrink meant, oh man, this dude got to go see a crazy doctor. So you didn't talk about it. Yeah. You didn't talk about it. So now when you figure out like, man, yeah, I am depressed. You know what I'm saying? And you can kind of, you know, probably not stare at yourself in the mirror, but you can kind of look up and see the beauty of the person that you are on the inside. Do you start writing more? When I'm going through something? Yeah. Absolutely. That's when I like to write the most. I know it's not really healthy to just only reach to write when you're feeling bad, but that's just when I feel the most inspiration as far as letting stuff out. Yeah. And what I think I noticed more off of No Chaser, the album, I didn't find something so dark on the album. Okay. Was that by design, or is that just where you are now? I guess it was a little bit of both. I definitely didn't want to make this record a sad record, but I definitely do feel like there is some darkness to it. Right. But not too much. Right. I wanted to make it more like powerful. I didn't want it to be a sad girl album. I wanted it to be like, this is a banger, you know? I wanted to make an album that you could play anywhere, like at the party, on the block, when you're having a mental breakdown in your room, you know, there's like a little bit of But that's what life is. Life is this. Yes. Life is ups and downs and contradictions and, you know, vulnerabilities and being the strongest one in the room. Like that's what life is, and that's what music is. And that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have something where you could tap into and say, okay, I identify with this at this particular moment. You know what I'm saying? So now you're in a position where the new album is out. You know what I'm saying? You just came back from a European tour as well? Yes. Where were you at? I was in Europe for 5 weeks. Damn, I heard that. Yeah, it was supposed to be like 3. You go get yours. I ended up making a whole album out there. Yeah, they say you're in Spain? Yeah. What the hell made you stop in Spain? You know what? I had a show out there. So I had a show in Bulgaria, Germany, what's your passport look like? I just got a new one because the other one was filled. Hello. Hey, Reverie, do you ever trip off that girl from Highland Park? Is now that girl in Bulgaria? Yes, every day. Yeah. Especially when I'm over there. Right. I've been there, I think this was my 17th trip to Europe. And I'm actually going to go back next month as well. You're not bragging though. You just talking about like we just having a conversation. This isn't like I have and you haven't. This this ain't to make us feel bad.
I'm just stating the facts.
Okay, yeah.
It's been a blessing. It's really been a blessing.
You know what,
when
though?
I'm out there, I'm like, wow.
But it's not given
here.
either. It's earned. You know what I'm saying? And just the person that also, had a chance to see you throughout the, last few years and watch you on social media and speak to you as well. Like you really put it in.
Thank
and
you.
you make the sacrifices and you've turned yourself into a brand. You know what I'm saying? And now when you look, man, it's like worldwide now.
Yeah.
That's crazy though, right?
It's international.
Yeah. You
It's a blessing.
You know, people don't know how to compliment you. They're just like, oh, she thinks she all bad.
No.
She thinks she all bad.
I'm just so happy to represent Los Angeles. Yeah. Honestly, like it's an honor. Everywhere I go, people always, we love LA. We love the West Coast. And I'm like, yeah. At every single show at the very end of my set, I'm like, everybody say West Coast. And the whole crowd, West Coast.
Isn't
amazing.
it crazy that music puts you in front of people?
Yes.
In different places in the world?
It's a miracle.
Yeah.
It saved my life.
Yeah, and wow.
Yeah.
And it seems like you're very happy at what you do. You know?
I am. I'm very blessed.
Now,
and I've never said that until like the last couple of years. I always thought it was stupid. I always thought it was stupid when people say, "Oh, I'm so blessed," or I would even get mad when people would tell me, "Oh, you're blessed." I'm like, I'm not blessed. I work hard.
Right.
But you know what? I just wasn't there yet. And I also like in the last couple of years, it's gonna sound kind of silly to some people, but I finally believe in God. Like I didn't understand that concept until the past couple of years, and now I understand. Like, oh wow, I am blessed. This is not just me. Like this is. Something is channeling through me to spread this message that's helping people all over the world.
Hey,
and
man,
I can't deny that.
And Reverie, life is amazing. Because, and then when you start to, live a little bit and you get the years, you're like, man, I thought I could, for one, even growing up, our age to make it past was 17.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like our age, because we weren't making it, the homies weren't making it past 17.
Yeah.
So literally we were like, man, 17 is a celebration. You know what I'm saying? And then
Same.
when you get to 17, and now that I look in the rearview mirror, I'm like, man, life is amazing.
Yeah.
And when you say, man, I didn't really, when people say blessed or people that know God, so on and so forth, it's when you arrive. You know what I'm saying? Because at some point you don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, you were going through the test, but you didn't see the testimonies. You know what I'm saying? So now you're seeing these testimonies where you could be able to talk to someone. And you got to think you're talking to a lot of people that through your music that probably didn't have anyone to talk to.
Absolutely. I get messages like that every day. And it's makes me feel so good. Because when I first started making music, I thought I was so alone. I thought I was the only person with drug addictions and family problems and all, anxiety and depression. And since I started making music, I would get these messages. Oh my God, I've never heard anybody talk about this in your music, and you helped me save my life. You stopped me from committing suicide. You helped me leave an abusive relationship. You helped me get sober. And I'm just like, whoa, that's crazy. And people often ask me, what's the best thing about what I'm doing? That's the best thing about what I'm doing. Like beyond the traveling, beyond everything else, helping people. It's like that's what gives me purpose.
And you can never hear that enough.
Yeah.
You can never hear it enough, man. When somebody just say thank you. So when you say your music changed people, when you're in a position where you tell people this is what I want to do music, do you have full support or do you have people like, stop it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's a crowded arena and then there's so many things that make it not just something that's hard. Is it harder being Latina? Is it harder being a female? Is it harder being from Highland Park? And then this machine, and it's harder because you didn't have the machine.
Yes. All of those things make it harder.
Yeah.
But I will say about people telling me it's not going to work, I finally don't have to deal with that anymore.
Right.
Because for the first few years of my career before it was really a career, people would always tell me, especially my family, what are you going to do after your little rap thing? When are you going to get a real job? When are you going to go back to school? When are you going to do this and that? But you know what? I know that's not out of a place of hatred. They were worried about me.
Right.
But now they don't say that anymore.
Hell no.
Now they're like, okay.
They come into the crib like, oh,
real.
this is nice.
Yeah.
I always told you I believed in you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Girl,
exactly.
you know I knew it. You just needed some tough love. That's what you needed.
Tough love.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody was yes people around you. I'm the one that made sure that you stuck in there.
Yes.
When did you figure out man, At one point, do you not want to do it? Because everything feels like it's uphill for a very long time. Or you're on this straight path and you don't see the turn. It's like, dude, I got a straight path behind me. Nothing's popped. I see all this straightness in front of me. Like, what am I doing here?
I mean, honestly, I still doubt myself sometimes, not to the point that I'm gonna, like nothing I do is good enough. I'm always like a person like, once I reach this level, now I want the next one. I'm like, oh yeah, but now we can reach this level. Which I know it's not really healthy to think like that. I need to learn how to celebrate my wins more.
Yeah.
I'm working on it and I'm conscious of it, which is important. But I'm always like ready for the next thing.
But you getting it too though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're about to leave back to Europe once again.
Yeah.
You don't need to take us. Just take a picture of us.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
How cute would that be on the tour bus or like a bus, like a photo of the neighborhood?
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Or we'll just give you a little picture. You don't have to do a whole bus. Because some places, man, it'll be a van, it'll be a bus, and on a train. We just give you like a little laminate picture. Because I know sometimes the clothes be hot and, we don't want to,
You know what? So get me the bus and I'll rock it on the bus.
Okay.
She said, get me the bus. Get me the bus. We had a smooth sit down during COVID. You know what I'm saying? And you do depend on a lot of live shows as well. Aside from creating, what did you do during COVID? And even with creating, because we didn't know when we were coming out of this. We're still not out of the pandemic, but we're back to doing some normal things. What was it like when that first hit and we were all on shutdown?
Wow, it was crazy for me because at the time my main monies were coming from merchandise and touring. And then obviously all the tour was stopped. All the tours, I canceled like 2 tours and like a bunch of shows. And then the first couple weeks of COVID, also my online sales completely stopped. And I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And I felt sorry for myself for like 2 weeks. But after 2 weeks, I was in bed. Oh, poor me,
But that's what it was. We didn't know. For one, we didn't know how long it was going to last.
Yes.
So we also thought, man, can I ride this out? Can I ride this out? And then it made everybody pivot. It was like, dude, like, you got to do something. That's
when I realized that after 2 weeks, I was like, if it lasted 2 weeks, it could last 2 months or 2 years. I'm about to get up and make it happen. So then I started focusing full time on my Satori Mob merchandise, which is my brand. And then I started making more money than I ever have on my brand. And so then I was making as much money as I was doing the touring previously. And so when everything was back on track, I ended up making an OnlyFans as well. And then that popped off too, and now that's really lucrative as well.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, and with OnlyFans, what's behind the walls? Do you know how people say they have an OnlyFans? Like, what is your OnlyFans?
So I take pictures and videos in lingerie and bathing suits.
So do I, but nobody's subscribing.
You gotta promote it. You gotta promote it more.
Okay, I would just think that search Big Boy, people will find me. All right,
I didn't know about it. You gotta let us
do they know? And I guess that they know that it's Reverie the artist.
Yes.
And it's comfortable enough where it's lingerie.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I don't do porn or nudity or
I stopped that
myself.
shit too. Yeah. Because nobody was paying me for it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay,
it's not my area.
It's
I'm not
something that
but
nobody can pop up and say, gotcha.
What do you mean by
as far as like it's not a separate world. Like I can see a picture and it's like, oh, okay, Big could see that. Because
you mean
it's
am
not
I
like
scamming people or what
no.
Really
what I mean by that is like it's not something where it's so not you that you like, man, I hope nobody finds out about this.
No. Everything I post on there, my rule is this is what I think every time when I post. If someone showed this to my dad, would he freak out?
Yes.
So everything is just like, hey, if my dad sees it, oh well, he's not gonna trip. And my dad supports me that I have OnlyFans.
Is there good money over there?
Yes, but I will say it's better if you have a bigger audience because a lot of girls that don't have a big audience, they just think that OnlyFans is a get rich overnight scam, and it's not. It's a lot of work, even for somebody with a big audience. Like it's a lot of work.
Because we'll see something where Louis will do a story or somebody do a story and says like, teacher gets fired for OnlyFans and she was making now she's making like 1.2. I'm like, dude, fire me. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody in here be like, man, F that. You know what I'm saying? Do you get up at 4 a.m. or do I do an OnlyFans?
Oh my
and you know what I'm saying? And I think I'll just be like, man, at the time, I'll be like, man, all right, it's OnlyFans Thursday. I got to do some new content. I got to do this. Yeah, because I just never knew what was on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, everyone's wall is very different.
Really?
Everyone's wall is very different.
And how much does it, and you pay monthly?
You pay monthly, but right now I'm doing it for free. People could go see it for free.
Oh, go ahead now. Got a little new customer code. Huh?
Yeah.
I heard that.
For all the lurkers.
So going into your new album, No Chaser.
Yes.
Where's your mindset with going into a new album? Where pandemic, life, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, so that's really crazy because when Louden and I started this album, it was right before the pandemic started. We've been working on this album for 3 years. So we started it in 2019. So it was almost all of it was made in 2019. And then I think we made like 2 songs during 2021. During 2020. And then maybe 2 songs during 2022, right? But the majority is actually from 2019.
Why did you wait so long to hold on to it?
Girl, because I'm an independent artist doing the job of 12 people and I'm just juggling so much at the same time. And so is all of my team. We're all doing so many things at once and it's just so hard for me to keep putting stuff out like close to when I started.
Yeah.
But also I obviously put out a lot of music. I just realized this week that I don't know anybody who puts out as much music as I do.
Is the content different now? And I don't mean by what you're talking about, but are you more critical now that there's a library, there's a fan base, you know, and you know how you could probably listen to something and at the time you're like, man, this is good.
Yeah.
And then you listen back to something, you're like, oh, damn. You know what I'm saying?
I'm absolutely
So
more
are
critical.
you in your head even more so now thinking about like, you know?
Yes, absolutely. It has to be up to par. It has to be better than the last thing, you know? Like this is my best body of work. No Chaser right now is the best album that I have out. And this is going to be my 13th project.
That's crazy.
13
And
projects
this has,
in 13
Reverie,
years.
this has always been independent?
Yes, we're still independent.
Yeah. Do you ever get approached or do you feel like man, no, I can't do it with someone else because I know what I'm doing. And it has to be something very lucrative for you to say, take all my brands and I'm going to trust you with it.
I would say if the right number and resources came to me, I would definitely go for it because the thing about a lot of artists that get signed is that they don't know how to make $100 out of $10. So when the record label gives them that big advance, this is just what I think from what I've seen in the game. When they get that big advance, they just go blow it all. Yeah. And they don't know how to make more money out of that money to pay back the loan and to make it blow up. So I know how to do that because I've started it from when it was $10 into $100 into $1,000, et cetera, et cetera. So I feel like if I did get the right opportunity with the right number, I would know what to do with that.
I saw one picture, and this was probably a while ago. I don't know if it was story or on your Instagram, period. But yeah, it was like you was mailing out merchandise. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, she over there mailing out everything too. You know, it was just everything. And then I was like, dude, she's selling a lot of merchandise. There was a lot of damn envelopes over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we're selling a lot of stuff on my website.
I need to have you get in control of selling our stuff. Got a whole warehouse of stuff sitting over there. Nothing's moving.
It's difficult.
Yeah, it is. It is difficult, man. But you got yourself into it. Do you ever look around and feel like you overwhelmed?
Every day.
Yeah.
Only every day.
Yeah.
Only every single day.
Hey, dude, you know what was crazy? She was like, Big, you know, I got a new album coming out. She was like, my publicist is going to hit you. And then 2 minutes later, she was like, hey, Big, it's Reverie. I'm my own publicist. So I was like, what? Like she does it all. Remember, even what's your DJ's name?
Lala.
Lala.
Shout out to Lala.
Before Lala, she used to DJ for herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd be like, come into a club, like, all right, we got to walk the club for security.
Oh
Like you did it all.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, and you got a very small team though, huh?
I have a very small team.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to my team. Lala, Scott, Louden, Juliana's in the house.
And is Louden your brother?
Louden is my real brother.
And it's 8 of y'all.
There's 8 of us. We have a huge family.
Okay.
Wow. Where are you in the number of 8?
So I'm the first one out of 3, and then I'm the third one out of the 8. Because I have their step and halves.
Got
all
it.
of us.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How cool. So what is your favorite?
What do you do when you're at a what happens at a show in LA?
I love and hate them all the same.
Yeah.
All 7 of them.
What do you do at a show in LA when family want to come? For one, are you close with all your family?
I have family that I'm close to and family that has distanced themselves from me. Mm-hmm. I accept people for who they are, but some people have a hard time accepting me for me.
Really?
Yeah. But you know, whatever, to each their own and wish them the best. I don't really care.
What would they be like? Yeah, she on tour. I hate her.
I mean, that's what it seems like to me, but I don't really know
Look
why.
who got a new album. Look at her.
Yeah.
Done turned her life around. Huh? Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really get it either, but some people don't like looking at people who are doing good things with their life because it makes them reflect about themselves, you know? So I never take it personal, even though it is very personal because it's family,
Right.
but I know that if somebody can't be happy for me, and that's their problem. And I still wish them the best.
And don't spend the energy on it.
I don't.
At one point, did you find yourself being in your head when it came to family or friends or, because we're always thinking and sometimes we want to be people pleasers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And we go through this thing where we want to be liked. You know what I'm saying? So, it takes a while and it takes a lot of either professional work or you just kind of, looking out for yourself and thinking and crashing a car and doing the work.
Yeah. It has been devastating when family members don't want to communicate with me anymore, but also I have had a lot of people abandon me over my life, and now I'm kind of good at just letting go, so it's tough, but it's just part of life, with family, with friends, with romance, with business, people come and people go, and you just got to let them go.
How many songs are on No Chaser?
I believe there's 16.
16. How many do you record to pick the 16?
Oh, I don't know.
You're always recording?
20-something? 20, I think there was 21 songs.
So that's not...
Yeah, but that was just how many we recorded. That I probably wrote like 40 songs.
Really, though?
Yeah.
So is it hard picking what goes onto the album? It's almost like picking your kids.
It's very hard. And oftentimes I will ask Louden, which one should we cut?
Right.
Because I have a personal attachment to them often.
Right.
So it's hard for me to say.
And Louden does too.
Yes, but not as much as me.
You're like, these are my beats. He was like, nah, just take this beat, go and rap over something else. Just do another song on it. Like,
you know what? We fought over that too because I want to use the song and he's like, no, I don't like that beat anymore. I'm like, nope, we're using it. But sometimes I'll take it off. But
Penthouse Keys, where you say started from the bottom, paraphrasing. Started from the bottom, now we're still somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
I heard
started
that.
from the bottom, now we're somewhere in the middle.
Now we're somewhere in the middle. I heard that. You're not like, no, we're not here. But we're somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta keep it real.
Yeah, we're above where we started at.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you get into recording mode, and is there a way that you record? Like, are you a person that gotta be lights off? Or are you homies and, do you have to have people in the studio with you? What's your vibe?
I prefer to be in the studio by myself with the engineer, with the producer. I am not a person who says, "Oh, I'm going to the studio. Everybody come. Let's party."
Up.
Like, I'm not that person. I also like all the lights on because when the lights are off, I just feel so sleepy and like it's just not my vibe. I want to be like,
you're
ready,
like, man, y'all hear Reverie's new slow album? Be nothing but slow songs. Like
that was the last one.
Hey, dude, Louden gonna be like, yeah, man, we probably need to start recording in the dark. That's probably what we need to do. Now, which song is your sister on?
Love Is My Religion.
Okay, all righty. And who's on Promises?
Gavlyn.
And where's Gavlyn from?
Gavlyn's from the Valley, from the 818.
818.
Shout outs to Gavlyn.
And your sister
Shouts
is
to my
Erin.
sister. Yeah,
Man, see, those were it's crazy that those were some of the songs that I kind of gravitate towards, and I didn't even know that was family.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know that your brother was on, you know what I'm saying? Like, will you take them on the road with you?
You know what? I've taken my brother on the road with me. Sometimes my brother sells my merchandise. Hudson. But his name is Hudson, but on the album he's called Hutso Nasty.
Oh,
he's hilarious.
And how old is he?
He's like 25, I think.
Had they always been into music, or they
Yes.
got more of a music attachment once you got in and started and watching you a little bit?
I'm not sure about that part, but my brother and my sister, they love music and they both sing, obviously.
Yeah. Hell yeah, they do. Do you sing?
Yes.
Yeah.
So my last album, it was called Sometimes I Like to Sing.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of singing on that album. And it was very, very different. And it was very bold and risky for me to do that. And at first I thought it wasn't a good idea because it's not rapping, But I will say that album dropped in October, and all the doors that album has opened for me has been crazy. And it didn't do that good on like the numbers on Spotify, but it's not always about the numbers on Spotify. It's also
Right.
about what doors you can go through and what's going to
what
be
it did
open,
for
you know?
you.
And it did a lot for me. I'm
Well,
glad
like,
that I stepped outside the box.
Give us a couple examples.
I mean, I just feel like within the last few months, let's say since that album came out, I feel like I have graduated to another level in my career. for example, the events that I'm attending now, the people that I'm meeting, the people that I'm being recognized by, the quality of music. I feel like I graduated from the underground world that I was in for the first few years of my career, and now I'm at the bottom of the the bottom of the real.
Yeah. Like it's a different floor, but she's like, oh yeah. Okay.
Yes. I'm like,
now
I'm
I gotta start paying these dues.
Yes. Now I'm at the bottom of the industry.
How did you stay away from people thinking like, women got it a little different. I want to work with you, but then it's like, all right, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how were you able to not get caught up in, guys and extra business and can you do this? I
just am not really into trading my body for advancements, OnlyFans is one thing, nobody's touching me, but I'm not really into that kind of jumping around. I'm not saying anything against it. It's just not really.
It sounds
me.
Like you are, but go ahead.
So that's not for me. But I'm really focused on what I'm doing, and I feel like if somebody wants to offer me an opportunity out of a genuine place, then I'm all for it. But if it's gonna be requiring something else, then I don't need it. Right. I'm doing great by myself.
And I know that it's got to be like, oh, you could talk to someone, then you like, oh damn, here go this shit.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think everybody gets it. You know what I'm saying? Not the one want to like sleep with me or do nothing crazy. But it's like you'll see somebody and you're like, okay, yep, they want me to play the record. They want me to do the interview. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, B? Then it's like, I'm waiting on it. Like, oh, okay. Here come this shit.
Yeah, for
here
sure.
Come this shit. Here come this shit. I saw you at the Cypress Hill release for their documentary.
Yes.
Yeah, and when I first saw you, I didn't know it was you. Keep it real. I was looking, I was like, man, look at this one right. And fuck this Reverie. Like, hey.
Thanks.
But you're always a joy, man. Every time we see you, Reverie, you're cool as hell.
Thank you.
I really support you. I love your energy.
I
want to see you continue to win. No Chaser is the new album available for you right now. And
yes.
You got that on vinyl?
I have I got the album on vinyl. Aww. There's only 195 of them that we press.
Why not 200?
Because we ordered 200, but they only made 195.
Okay, all right. I thought it was a special number. She was
I emailed them, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, there's only." I was like, "There's 5 missing." They're like, "We made 195." Yeah. I was like, "Okay, cool."
Like they was like, "Well, you called the 195 company." You know what I'm saying?
It was strange.
Yeah.
But, so I brought you guys some presents.
Nice.
What size shirts are you guys?
I'm a medium.
You're a medium.
No, I'm XL.
XL.
Man, don't give me no medium, Reverie. What the hell? Hey, man, can you imagine she would have gave me a medium? She like, big. I know you're going to look crazy in it, so please don't wear my merchandise.
Crop top.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I have it tied up in the front.
I'll be a large.
Yeah. Louis a large.
Yep.
All right. Do you have like a large small, though? Because he's short.
Yeah. I have a large small.
Not a large, like, do you have one that's... Or we can send it to get it altered and get it hemmed, right? Yeah. All right, and as you see,
I only have a large.
I got for Jose. Whoa! Come on,
I'll
look
bring
at
you one
him.
next time. I'll bring you one. Sorry.
Don't do that to him. Now,
and you know what?
Now
I
he's
brought
gonna be
you
all
my
3
vinyl.
stay in the car like, oh man.
Sorry.
She tried to give you a large. That's hilarious. What grade does she think you're in? Oh my
Sorry.
God! Yeah. Don't trip. He's just been putting on some weight. Let me see. No, for real. No, it's not your problem. You thought like, oh my God, like. Why would I bring a 2X?
You know what? It's
I know.
true.
She was thinking, she was like, man, we didn't, we made on a certain amount of pieces. And Jose, I'm sorry. That's what she said.
So I got you on the next one.
Yeah. Or maybe we can lose down into it. You know what I'm saying? There it is. Sorry. Hey, dude, she felt bad. She was like, big.
I know. Now I feel bad.
Oh, that's all right. Say what now, Jose?
Water and everything?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
No, don't.
Getting cut.
Don't. No, you all right. It's Big Boy's neighborhood. Yeah.
And then I brought you my vinyl.
Go ahead now. All right. Now, let me tell you straight up. I'm going to accept this. Somebody's going to see this interview. They're going to offer to buy this. I'm going to sell it.
You know what? It's yours.
Okay. So it's mine to do what I need to do with it.
It's yours. You do what you want to do.
Okay, just in
with
case.
it.
Because I've been presented with some things. And then somebody want to buy it. And I sell it. All right. So what I'm going to do, Reverie, I'm going to take all the pictures. I'm going to hold on to it.
Okay.
And then as soon as someone say, hey, Big, I give you such and such. And we're not going to let it go for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, good.
I'm going to sell it. No, I'm just playing. I'm going to
get that resale. Get that resale.
There it is right there.
Ooh, you should get
Can
an
you sign it but don't put my name on it? No. I heard. Now what? Okay. What is this on the cover? Are you throwing up?
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
I'm throwing up gold
'Cause I
because
saw
it's
you-
no chaser, you know? So it's like, no chaser, but, sometimes at the end of the night, if you're not taking the chaser, that's what's going to happen. And I'm throwing up gold, and you can interpret it how you want, but my
I love it.
interpretation is just like, that's the pain coming out from inside me. And for me, it's the pain and suffering and the alcohol, but for everybody else, it's gold. It's liquid
Yeah.
gold.
Hey, man, do you put Louden on every album?
Loudon's probably been on every
I'm
single
talking
album.
about like in print, like this.
Oh, if it's me and him,
Right.
If it's album of me and him, yes.
I heard that. Okay, because I know
Consider it.
before when you went to the restroom, Louden was talking crazy. I was just
Nothing new,
wondering.
nothing
Yeah, I was just wondering. He was like, "Yeah, big, I had to fight to get my name on this one." She don't know who the real star is.
All right.
Y'all stick around, y'all
Bet.
radios. We got Reverie in the neighborhood, Big Boy's neighborhood.
It's such a blessing where you were saying that there are a lot of people that come up to you to say that your music saved them or inspired them in some way. Who's done that for you in music?
For sure, I would say Murs and Atmosphere. I would say Tupac. I guess those are probably the people that really I grew up listening to that made me feel better when times were dark.
Favorite Tupac song?
Favorite Tupac song? Temptations.
Ooh.
For sure. That's the one. That's the one.
If you were ever, you've never remixed like a Tupac song or anything like that, or what?
Hey man,
Yes.
some of the titles too, even on No Chaser.
There's
Yeah.
a record on the No Chaser album.
Okay.
It's called All Eyez on Me.
Yeah.
And then also on the Drug Dealer song, that's a sample of Tupac too. And then also on the Hail Mary song,
Yeah.
it's a Tupac
Oh,
sample
okay.
too.
Gotta hear that.
So I'm starting to think you like Pac.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little bit,
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm starting to think you like Pac. No Chaser is the album. It's available for you right now. Thank you for coming into the neighborhood.
Thank you for having me. It's
Enjoy
always an
your
honor.
tour. Enjoy your hard work, success.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely do this again.
Yes, thank you so much.
My queen, a Reverie in the neighborhood, man. Big Boy's neighborhood.